My name is Jacob Lamb.
What grade are you in?
I am a junior, I believe.
Hi there, can you please state your name?
Yes, it's Cynthia Geringer.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a few questions today.
Okay.
Can all of you state your name and your occupation at the school?
I'm Missy Ritchie. I'm school counselor.
I'm Megan Corbin. I'm the guidance secretary.
And I'm Brenda LeVold, school counselor.
Okay, what's your name?
Elizabeth.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions, alright?
Okay.
Hi, can you please state your name?
Michael Geringer.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a few questions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're asking, can mental health issues cause or lead to a divorce, or like be a factor in,
No, can,
or the other way around?
the other way around, kind of,
Okay.
can a divorce affect mental health issues on the kids that you see coming in to the office?
I mean, I could see like as stress. I don't personally see that particular issue a lot, but I can definitely see stress at home causing mental health to deteriorate. Whether that's stress because your parents are fighting all the time, or because they're getting a divorce, or dad moved out, or whatever. I think that can definitely cause a kid to have some issues.
And I think the home life, especially financial hardships, it affects kids. I mean, most kids that we see are kids that their home life is just terrible.
No?
We would like for it to be true,
Yeah.
but factual, I don't know.
I think sometimes I think those kids are unmotivated. I think they're depressed. I think their parents they're dealing with all their own drama, so they aren't necessarily focusing on their kids, so they don't care when F's come home on the report card. If they do, they care for 5 minutes, they ground them, and then
Don't do
it's
anything
like
else.
kind of over. Yeah, so I would say no on the majority of those
On the
cases.
majority, but occasionally we do see
Yeah.
one that'll rise above, that they know that their future is not related to their past, their parents.
Absolutely. My parents would fight over having me at their house at different times. So yeah, all the time there was tension.
Growing up, was there ever any tension in your house because of your parents being separated?
Well, mine's a little bit different because my parents didn't officially divorce until I was 23, but I guess they separated for the first time when I was 16. So yeah, lots of tension. Lots of
And
tension.
for me, there was tension because my dad bought me everything I wanted, and my mom was not into it, and I get why. So there's sometimes tension about that, but they otherwise did a pretty marvelous job of being divorced.
Was your mom the custodial parent?
I think legally yes, but they didn't have an agreement where it's he gets every other weekend or whatever. He just got me whenever he wanted. He worked swing shifts, so he'd have 3 on 3 off. So just whenever he wanted me, he could have me. They didn't play games.
So kind of like
That
a
way.
50-50 thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was still with my mom more than him, but I mean, it wasn't real structured how that worked out. But she legally had custody.
I was about 6, 7, around that time.
At what was our age?
Yes.
I was probably only 3, maybe. I was pretty little.
Yeah, I was 16 or 17 when they first separated, lived apart for the first time, but then they fully separated when I was 21. I don't think they really got divorced till I was 23. It took a long time.
Certain parts were tougher because of the divorce, but I think overall I had an okay time. The divorce definitely influenced me in the way that I act towards certain people.
I had a really fun childhood, and my parents, like I said, did a super good job of being divorced. And until my dad remarried, he was the first one to get remarried. They would even take me on vacations together, and we'd share a hotel room. Me and my mom would sleep in one bed, and my dad would sleep in the other. They were super cool to each other. So I really admire that they did that, because they didn't have to, but they did that for me. So yeah, I mean, I still had a really good childhood. I had a lot of fun, and it never was a problem for my parents to like be in the same place at the same time. Like when I got married recently, it wasn't like dramatic for step parents to interact with parents. Like my dad and stepdad walked me down the aisle. My parents have been really, really great at being divorced people.
So they're really good at co-parenting.
Yeah, very, very good.
Can you repeat the question?
It's, did you have a happy childhood, and do you think your parents' relationship, whether together or apart, had an effect on those emotions?
My childhood was okay, up and down. My parents' relationship probably definitely caused some childhood trauma.
I think the hardest problem is the jealousy aspect. You try so hard to make sure that she feels included and that she's part of it all, but there's still some struggles with that, especially with my middle child, Elizabeth. The hardest problem I saw was in the beginning of dating my husband. She was very excited, almost acted like she had a little bit of a crush on him, kind of thing. Always wanted to sit next to him and lay on him. But then once we got married, I think she sensed, oh, I'm being replaced. And so I struggle with that, even to this day. She'll ask if she can sleep with me at night, if she could take naps with me, because those are things that we commonly did when it was just me and her.
Yes. For me, I moved away, which caused a big hindrance on the relationship with my 9-year-old, because our relationship was really close when we were together, but after the divorce, and especially moving away, caused a big hindrance and a big, I guess, had to figure out how to rekindle that relationship with each other.
All right. Did the divorce or new marriage have an effect on you and your child's relationship, which you had just said? But do you want to go into more depth on it?
Oh, goodness. Scary. It was hard. You know, especially when you've been married to someone for a while, and then to think about going back into the dating realm. I did not like that aspect. I try to make the best of it, but I think my hardest problem I had with it is I had a hard time letting go, and I had a hard time of letting people see my true feelings, and so I did not want them to see who I was, because I didn't want to open up completely. My kids, they struggled with that too. They didn't like seeing mommy with somebody new and dating other people. They wanted me to be there for them and them only, and I totally get that, but yeah, there was definitely some barriers, and it was definitely hard.
For me, after the divorce, I didn't date like right away. I was interested, I guess. I thought I was interested, but when it came down to it, I was like, eh. And you're kind of constantly like, I guess depends on how long you were married, because it could be new and a totally new experience. For my kids, I didn't really. That was kind of private. I didn't really tell that to my kids. I didn't bring them around. For me, I just kind of kept that secluded from them. I didn't really bring them unless I knew it was going to be something that long term. I didn't introduce them to my kids.
Oh, goodness. That's hard. There were so many things that were hard with it. I think, for one, just letting my child know that everything's going to be okay, and then reminding myself that that is the case as well. Sometimes telling my kid that, but not feeling it inside, just so she felt secure. Having a healthy balance, being able to still be professional and be involved in my work, but know that my kids are my number one priority since I did have full custody of them. Those are probably the hardest things I dealt with.
The hardest part for me was the not seeing the children as much. Your child or children, especially being a male, usually, even though I had 50-50 visitation and had the same amount of visitation while I was there, but then I chose to move away, you lose that visitation. I think that's the hardest part on any family member or any parent is the visitation, especially when you go from seeing them every day to not as much.
Oh, absolutely. That was terrifying. I remember saying, I'm never going to get married again. It's hard going through the divorce process. It's hard watching your kids go through everything. So, yeah, that was scary. But I think when you finally meet that right person and you know that they're good for you and good for your kids and they treat you well and your kids see that, it's totally different. You realize, you know what, I think this could be a good thing and we can make a family out of it. And look, my kids finally see what it's like to be in a good family.
Of course, you always think that, I guess you're running through your mind like, well, I failed the first time, is it going to fail the second time? And you always have that in your mind of like, is it my fault, or is this time going to be, is this one going to be a keeper, or is this one, you're always thinking about that, I guess. Like, is this the right person, or was it my fault? And hopefully I'm doing it for the right reasons.
Did you miss your dad when they divorced?
Yeah.
Do you still miss him a lot?
Yeah.
If you had the choice to live with your mom or dad, would you live with your dad? Why?
Because I kind of want. I don't really know because then it would make mom sad. Because right now dad's sad because he doesn't get to see me that much.
So, do you want to live with your dad because he's sad, or because you just want to live there?
Because he's